important macro and micronutrients that you can get from food. So I'm going to put this over here. Let's see if I can get this to sit properly. All right, so we can zoom in on this. Let's take a look here. All right, so we've got vitamins and we've got minerals, but are they macro or are they micro? Well, the fact of the matter is, if you don't need a great deal of a particular substance, for example, vitamins and certainly certain minerals, then they would be called micro. So a micro substance would be the B vitamins, which are water soluble. I don't know if you can zoom in on this here. All right, so let's take a look here. We've got vitamin B1 is called thiamine. We've got vitamin B2, riboflavin. B3, niacin. You can actually make niacin from an amino acid called tryptophan, but it's not very easy to do, meaning it's just too difficult in terms of too much tryptophan to make a little bit of niacin. So we would call this one of the nutrients that you need to get on a daily basis. Vitamin B5, pantothenic acid, all right, pretty much found in many different foods. Pyridoxine is vitamin B6. We have biotin, vitamin B7, which, by the way, was also called vitamin H at one time. All right, so they called it vitamin H. All right, what else here? Let's continue with the B vitamins. We've got folate or folic acid. All right, folium actually is from the word leaf. All right, and that used to be called vitamin M. All right. Finally, we have vitamin B12, the last of the vitamins to really be elucidated. And it's got a complicated structure. It's made from 3 separate molecular entities. It's called cobalamin. All right, so vitamin B12, it's actually the red vitamin because it actually has the cobalt-3, which gives it its red color. All right, so the B vitamins are water soluble, and so is vitamin C, which is called ascorbic acid. All right, so water-soluble vitamins. We've got the B vitamins and vitamin C. All right. Now, what exactly can you do with B vitamins? Well, you can extract, whoops, come back here. You can extract energy from foods, all right? So you can take glucose, for example. I've got some glucose over here. Here is a glucose molecule, our old friend, the glucose molecule. And how would you use glucose? Well, you'd have to, of course, take a source of glucose, and certainly one of the sources, direct source of glucose would be grapes. But what if you were to try to get glucose out of bread? Well, bread is going to be starch, so you're going to have to break up the starch molecules. The starch molecules have many glucose units. So how do you get the glucose separated from the other glucose? Or the glucose, for example, separated from another molecule we call fructose. So if we've got fructose and glucose, which when you put them together, you actually have sucrose. So glucose and sucrose, glucose and fructose form the molecule sucrose or table sugar. How do you get that apart? Well, you're going to need an enzyme. You're going to need an enzyme to break the bond between these two molecules or molecular units, all right? And one of the vitamins that does this is right here. We've got vitamin B1 thiamine, all right? So vitamin B1 is thiamine. And this is one of the vitamins that will be important in extracting energy from foods. So you're going to be using thiamine to break that bond in sucrose, table sugar, so that you can use the glucose, all right? So very important that we have the vitamins ready to go. All right, let's take a look at some of the some of the fat-soluble vitamins. If we can just zoom in here. Fat-soluble vitamins, all right? I've got vitamin A, I've got vitamin D, I've got vitamin E, I've got vitamin A. So let's go back here. Vitamin A. Vitamin A, called retinol, is a substance that you can get, at least from converting beta carotene. All right, so here we've got our friend the carrot, all right, with our vitamin A. Okay, so here's the carrot, vitamin A, friend the carrot. We get beta carotene from the carrot. The carrot's beta carotene can be converted into vitamin A, all right, or retinol. Very useful in eyesight. Carrots for good eyesight, well, that's because we need vitamin A. All right, what about vitamin D, cholecalciferol? Cholecalciferol, or vitamin D3, can be obtained directly from milk products, all right? So you can get your vitamin D. I'm sure if you look on your milk carton, it will say with vitamin D and calcium. Why do you need vitamin D? Why do they talk about vitamin D and calcium together? Well, it's because you need vitamin D to absorb calcium. You want strong bones, you're going to need calcium. You want to bring calcium into the body so that you can use it, then you're going to need vitamin D. All right? Just because you eat something doesn't mean your body can actually use it. We'll talk about that later when we mention celery and cellulose. All right? So the vitamin D helps absorb calcium into the body so that you can use it. All right. Vitamin E. All right, vitamin E, tocopherol. And there are tocotrienols, are vitamin E, alpha, beta, and gamma forms of the vitamin E. A very useful vitamin. People are thinking that it might be useful for antioxidation, all right, preventing free radicals from doing damage in the body. And finally, vitamin K. Vitamin K, phylloquinone, one of the quinones, is useful in blood clotting, a clotting factor or series of clotting factors. Vitamin K is very useful in that respect. We'll be talking more about the vitamins in other shows, but this is what you obtain from foods, macro and micronutrients. In the next segment, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the minerals, macro and micro. So I'll see you then. Take care. Bye for now.